proper preparation prevents poor production. So I'm not going to sit up there and be claiming I'm doing something and not prepare myself so when the job comes. My mom always said, it's better to be ready and not needed than to be needed and not ready. I think so many people maintain these weird relationships knowing that people don't support them and ain't got their back. Like, what are you doing? You're doing yourself a disservice. I wish I would hang out with some people who don't like me or who don't got my back. What I look like?
Hey, this is Raina Campbell, your Chief Dream Driver, and welcome to the No Parking Podcast, where through conversations and discussions with creators like yourself, we'll find interesting approaches to help you take your dreams out of park, put them in drive, and ride towards success. Hey, Dream Drivers, welcome to episode 139 of the Dreams and Drive podcast. And today our guest is stuntwoman and actress Janeshia Adams-Ginyard. And I am so excited to have her on the show today. As you guys know, the past week has been amazing for me, getting to meet Chadwick Boseman and Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show.
And I was just so inspired as someone who wants to make movies one day, wants to inspire people that art can really change the world.
What type of movies do you want to do? What type of movies?
To just overall having a week that has showed me that you really have to continue to plant seeds, put in the work, and not give up on yourself. I bumped up Janeisha's episode because I thought it'd be perfect, and it really fits in with this idea of momentum and moving forward and focus. We talk all about in this episode how to manifest success and how to build mental toughness in your life. Quick facts about Janeisha: if you saw Black Panther, you saw her work. She was one of the 8 Dora Milaje, and she was also the stunt double for lead actress Danai Gurira. Her work has been seen in Avengers Infinity War, Fox's 911, Godzilla King of Monsters, HBO's True Blood, and more. Janeisha is an alum of UC Berkeley. She's fluent in American Sign Language and trained in Taekwondo. And check this, she made history on the U.S. national bobsled team as brakeman on the first all-black female United States bobsled duo. And I want to focus in on this idea of manifesting success because you'll hear Janeisha tell you herself, before she even got her first stunt job, she was calling herself a stunt performer and telling other people that she was a stunt performer. We talk about this idea of manifesting success and believing in yourself and how that eventually led to her landing the Black Panther gig. So we are doing a giveaway this week. I'm giving away a Dreams and Drive crewneck sweatshirt to one lucky person. So if you want to enter to win that, just go to dreamsanddrive.com/win. That's dreamsanddrive.com/win. And whoever wins, I'll let you choose the color that you want. So please go and enter. As always, I ask that you guys are following us on social. We are Dreams and Drive across the board, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And keep on sharing to Instagram stories, tweeting about the episode, or even posting about it on Facebook. I count on you each week to help us grow the Dreams and Drive community. And I know that other people want to hear about content that can inspire and motivate them. So please continue to share the episodes as you enjoy them. All right, so let's get into the episode with Janeisha. Hi, Janeisha. Welcome to this episode of Dreams and Drive. I'm so excited to have you on today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You know, I know when people are listening to this, they're going to be so excited. When I did I posted on my Facebook and my Instagram and my other social media platforms that I was interviewing you. And like so many people were hitting me up like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like we have a lot of listener questions. So hopefully I'm able to ask them. It's funny because everyone asked me the same question that they wanted me to ask you. And it was a question that like, don't you think I would ask her that? You know what I mean? It's like
already, right?
Yeah, like of course I'm gonna ask her that question. If you had a chance to ask her one question, that's what you would ask. But okay, so I like to start our interviews off going back in time. So let's go back to the childhood you, right? Where did you grow up? In California?
Yes. So I am from California, Los Angeles. I went to high school in Cerritos. I went to Gar High School right off that 91 exit Studebaker. Y'all know the Cerritos Mall, 605 exit South Street. Yes.
You see my face right now. I'm like, I don't know any of that. I'm from Jersey. Oh. So what was inspiring you as a child? If I had to say, what was inspiring the young Janeisha, how would you respond?
What inspired me?
Yeah, like what were some of the things that were influencing you as a young child?
First of all, I had a very good childhood. Like, very good. I grew up in a household where education was stressed. It was like first. Mm-hmm. And then being well-rounded, like God and faith was like the center of that household. So like my mom did not play. We went to church. We was active in the church. I was an announcing clerk. I was an usher. I also did Sunday school. So just being very active and outgoing and well-rounded, that was just key. And my mom instilled in us trust, accountability, so many things that lack in so many people today, Lord Jesus. But trust, accountability, education.
What was the dream back then? Like, what was the thing that you wanted to really be as a young Janeisha?
When I was little, I wanted to be a sports commentator and sign language interpreter for deaf athletes.
Wow, that's so specific. Like, that's really specific.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to do that when I was like 8 years old. I would sit in front, like I'm super into sports. Like I've already been athletic, right? So I'm super athletic, but I'm very into sports as well. So growing up, I would sit down with my brother and we would be watching the sports, football, basketball, it didn't matter. And I would be reciting the names, the players, their numbers. And then when I was 8 years old, I memorized the flags of the nations that would be represented at the Olympics. So I can date back from the 1992 Barcelona Olympics and tell you all the nations that were involved, their flags, all of that. So I was just so involved in sports. I think that's why the commentating was one of my goals. One of my career goals was to be a commentator because I would sit at home and watch the sports and talk about them and commentate on them and give color commentary. And I knew who so-and-so was dating and who his wife was and where his kid went to school. Like I knew all of that stuff when I was 8 years old. So it made sense for me to be a commentator. And then the sign language interpreting came in because when my mom's job transferred us upstate to New York, we lived in a little town called West Henrietta, which is a suburb of Rochester. And Rochester is where fingerspelling was invented. And we lived in an area where there was a high population of deaf and hearing impaired. So some of our friends were hard of hearing. Some of our friends' parents were completely deaf. So when I was about 8, 9 years old, my mom enrolled me and my sister at the college up there, and we took sign language classes. That's when I first got introduced to sign language.
That's so cool. I've always wanted to learn sign language, and you are fluent in sign language now, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I know you also, as a young child, was very into track. So I have to tell you a little story about my own track story. So I was like the biggest, and anyone who if you guys have listened to this podcast up to now, you've probably heard me say this in previous episodes, is I wanted to be like the next Flojo. I'm telling you, like I was so into that. Being from a Jamaican household, right? I first started in middle school, high school. But the thing was, I was never any good. Like I was not good. But I was that kid who was like, I went to every practice. I studied people. I just was not fast. And it's funny because I used to get all like the medals for like the coaches award, most spirited. I was the captain. But the only medal I ever got in my whole track career was freshman hurdles, 400-meter hurdles. It was like, no, listen, you're going to laugh, right? I came in third place in the freshman race, like at the end of I forgot what it's called, the end of the season where you're like, I forgot what finals, whatever. It was, right?
Was it like league finals?
Yeah, league finals, right? Freshman year, high school, freshman race, 400-meter hurdles, I got my bronze medal, but it was only 3 people in the race.
So you finished strong.
I finished strong, but it's just like, that's just a side note. But track has, like for me, like track has always just been, I think there was just something about it being an individual and team sport, but you really had to train, and it was a lot of mental, what's the word? It's kind of like pushing yourself mentally, right? I do
absolutely think, self-motivation.
Yeah, it was that idea of like, if you train hard enough, if you just like keep going in your mind, that's what I really liked about the sport. But I honestly, now looking back, I think I was in the wrong rate, because I also did cross country, which I was pretty good at, but they had me running like 100 meters, 200 meters. I probably should have been running the 800, but there's not that many 800s. So it was just like, they had me doing these sprints. Yeah, so maybe one day. Maybe I'll come back.
That's funny because you're right. So Jackie Joyner, I love her. She was my idol, and I actually title myself as like a little Jackie Joyner because I did the same events that she did. But for you, I'm thinking maybe it was just the events. Maybe you were in the wrong event, because from just listening to you talk, I'm like, and what you were saying about your track experience, you should have been doing an 800 or a 1600, easy, or maybe even convert that to steeplechase. Since you had did the hurdles, then why not put you in a 3,200 meter steeplechase? You know what I mean? You probably could have excelled if you had different events.
Yeah. And also the league I was in was very competitive. So, but I went to a private school. So we were in a public school league, but my private school was good at like lacrosse and golf. We weren't good at track. It was just, if I could do high school again, I always tell myself I would do the 800 or 1600, and maybe I would have been like a track star. So you went to UC Berkeley. What was college like for you, and how were you starting to put together those childhood dreams of wanting to be in sports, and really, how was your career developing as you were moving through college?
That is such a great question. Yes, I went to UC Berkeley. Go Bears. Shout out to the Pac-10. Now it's the WAC-12 or whatever. So, okay. So while I was super outgoing on campus, like high energy. I was social VP of my dorms. Everyone knew me. I mean, they had to vote for me. But like I said, I was social VP of my dorms. I was very active on campus. I was a part of 2 dance groups. Competition dance groups, actually.
Oh, me too. I danced in college too, all 4 years.
Yes. I was just very active. I was always going to our football games, always. And I always sat in the same section, same area. And I had my little crew, my little entourage with me, and nobody bothered us because they knew, hey, that's Janeisha and her crew. They always sit there. And let's say I would be running late or whatever, there would be people who would like hold the seats down, be like, oh, we knew you was coming. We were just holding it down for you. I'm telling you, like, there was just so many like unspoken things that happened on that campus because I was just so social and so active and so involved. I always went by and spoke with my athletic counselors and advisors, and I was just goofy and stuff, running around and being funny because I'm just naturally high energy and down to earth. And at the end of the day, I think people gravitate towards people like me because they like genuine, they like real. I know that's what I gravitate to. So that's just how I was on campus. And I majored in linguistics.
That's very interesting because you wanted that to do sign language, or?
Well, I went in as a math major as well, but I was going to do math and mass comm. I couldn't do mass communication because at Berkeley, that's a really, really impacted major. And so my mom was like, well, you can do linguistics. And I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. Because she was like, a lot of people who are interpreters and broadcasters and speech pathologists or whatever, they'll major in linguistics. I'm like, great. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, shoot, I can major in basically anything and still do what I want to do. That's just how it is. That's the whole thing about college. You could choose a major, but you don't necessarily have to stick with that major. But linguistics fit me perfectly because it really broke down the language. It talks about the phonetics and phonology, which is the sound system, the semantics, which is the meaning of the words when you put the put them together. Morphology is when you start adding, S to make stuff plural, ED to make it past tense. So I learned that whole, how language works basically. And I thought that would be great for my sign language, for communications. So while I was up north in the Bay Area, I actually started working at one of the radio stations, 106 KMEL. And I was an on-air radio personality. I also ran Jesse Jackson's syndicated Keep Up Alive radio show. I was his board operator.
It's funny, as you're speaking, so I studied, my first semester at Princeton, I had a linguistics class called African American Vernacular English, right? And it was basically a class about how, what we call slang is actually, if you think about it, it has rules, and it's a language within its own right, because when you speak it, you know how to speak according to the rules. So I was fascinated with linguistics, but it was tough. Like, you had to do problem sets. I'm like, I'm not gonna minor in this. I'm just gonna do sociology and call it a day. It was getting too hard.
Linguistics made my brain hurt. I'm not even gonna lie. I never spent over 6 hours on one homework problem. Like, we'll say we'll have homework and it'll probably be 5 questions or 5 problems. I kid you not, there were several times where I spent like 6 hours on one problem.
Yeah, and people don't understand.
Welcome to linguistics. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's beautiful. I learned so many languages. I broke down so many languages. My final project was on Serbo-Croatia, which is what they speak in Bosnia.
How do you think that knowing languages, how do you think that really impacted your ability to navigate as you went on throughout your career? So, like, even what you're doing now, like, how does those skill sets you've learned help you today?
I think what it helps is communication. I mean, you got to be able to communicate with people. I don't care who it is, your mom, your dad, your boyfriend, right? And relationship. I mean, that's why so many relationships fail, is because people don't know how to freaking communicate on just a basic level. So I think with my linguistics background and just how I grew up, I know how to communicate. I'm articulate. I have a lexicon that is just like super, super big. So I could go that route with you, or I could just keep it really basic where I don't have to make you feel like you're getting lectured, in a college environment. So I think being able to know how to communicate with different people, because the way I communicate with you is the same way I could communicate with somebody else. Mm-hmm. And I think that helps. And it helps when you're speaking in front of crowds. I'm not afraid to speak in front of hundreds of people. Some people get very nervous and scared to talk to people. Some people are just scared to meet new people. I'm not that way. I'm very social, very high energy. I will walk up to strangers and say hi. I'm knowledgeable, in pop culture, in politics, in whatever. So I think that helps when you can actually communicate with people.
So on the flip side, what's one area of your career that is not a challenge, like something that you really have to get out of your comfort zone in order to do it well?
I would say being patient, number one.
Okay.
And number 2 would probably be gymnastics. I am not patient. Oh my God. I cannot stand people who walk slow, talk slow, eat slow, drive slow. I just take so much. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
Move the man.
I'm like, Lord Jesus, create some urgency in your life, please.
But what did you think of doing stunts now that you, I would think you'd have to be very patient in order to do things right. How do you navigate that? And we'll get into your stunt career, but thinking about it now, how do you navigate not being patient with having to do stunts and work in movies where you're doing things over and over and over?
Yeah, I don't associate patience with stunts at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I associate stunts as athletics. I'm an athlete. I'm disciplined. I'm trained. I'm a professional. So I look at it as I already have the discipline in me to work hard, to train hard, to not give up, to not to quit, to keep going at it, to do better. That to me has nothing to do with patience. That's more so drive and motivation.
Okay.
And that's how I look at stunts, because I started in stunts with no one in my family doing it. I didn't have a mama or a daddy or a sister or a brother or uncle who was a stunt coordinator and was very easy to like hire me for a job. Nah, I literally had to create this path myself, even when I was presented with roadblocks and hurdles. The athlete in me is like, you don't quit. What? Quitting is not an option. No, it's not an option. We gonna get this done. We win. You know what I mean?
Take us to how you got into stunts.
I got into stunts I was watching a movie. I saw a guy and he was running very horribly. I'm not even kidding. It was like same arm, same leg. And anyone that knows how to just run knows that we don't do same arm, same leg. That is just weird of the weird of the weird. And so I was like, wow, like this dude is running all crazy. I know how to run. I ran from my college. Like I'm a national athlete. I need to be doing stunts. And I seen all the stunt people listed on the credits at the end of the movie. And I was like, this is crazy. So immediately after that, I transitioned and started doing stunts. But before that, I was doing athletic print and modeling. I had did several Nike campaigns. I did a Dick's Sporting Goods commercials. Like I was doing athletic stuff, but it was perfect timing for me watching that movie, because it was right around the time when I was doing the different print campaigns where I was just like, I need to be doing more. Just standing in front of this camera, holding this kettlebell is great and all. I'm an athlete, but I need to be moving. I need to be getting out the way, dodging some stuff. Mm-hmm. So watching that movie was just like perfect timing. Literally divine intervention is what I call it. And so from there, I started training in tumbling, because I already knew how to do like a cartwheel and a round off. But you need to know how to do way more than that if you try to do some stunts. And so I knew that I should probably pick up a little foundation of some basic gymnastics. So I got with a guy. He trained me in tumbling. I started Taekwondo.
And how old were you at this point?
24.
Is that like a normal age for people who are like getting into stunts, or were you like behind the curve as to where people are when they enter the industry?
I don't know what that normal age would be, because at 21, I was a national athlete. So
okay. I don't know. I'm just wondering, like, is that on track? Like, do people normally take that route to get into stunts, or were you like had to learn everything from scratch? You didn't, because you already had the foundational athletic.
Yeah, I didn't learn a bunch of stuff from scratch. What I'm saying is I don't know what a person's normal age is to get into stunts. I don't even know if we can technically define that, because you have some people who are second, third, fourth, fifth generation stunt people, and they're born into it. Then you have other people like me who find their way into it, who actually were athletes. Like I was a national athlete. To me, it made sense. If you look at it on paper, it's like, oh wait, she competed for her country and she did this, she did bobsled, and wait, what? Okay, yeah, stunts sounds right. You know, to me, it would seem more weird for somebody who don't have an athletic background getting into stunts.
Somebody who's like a chef saying, I want to do stunts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Somebody's like, oh, I'm going to do stunts. And they have no athletic background whatsoever, like never put on roller skates. And you find that too. So I can't really answer that question. I don't know. But I know for me, that was probably the time that I think I was transitioning out of doing my print campaigns and the print modeling and all of that. So I think it was like 24.
So how did you get the industry contact? Do you know who Jazzy Ellis is? She's a stunt woman. Jasmine Ellis.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Yeah.
I know who she is.
So she went to Princeton and she was like graduated, I think the year that I got there. But anyway, I've been following her career as well. And she was somebody who I think she used to model as well, but she had to kind of learn about the industry. How did you start making those connections and booking those first jobs?
Well, one, I'm social and I'm very vocal and I'm not afraid to ask questions. I think so many people are afraid to ask questions. And I learned early on. In a household, if you don't know something, ask, and don't ever let nobody make you feel like you can't ask the question, because if they know their stuff, they'll be able to answer it with no problem, right? Mm-hmm. So I have no problem asking questions. And if I don't understand something, I'm going to ask 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Because most of the time, I'm already asking a question for somebody else. You know how when you're growing up in school or elementary school and you had a person who would ask questions in class, and then you had other people who were scared to ask, or they were sitting there confused? Mm-hmm. I'm never going to sit anywhere confused. I don't think I was created to sit down and be confused.
Yeah.
I was created to ask questions so I get some clarity and some confirmation and some understanding. So I think for me, I asked questions. And I also started out doing background and extra work because I knew that, I'm going to need to get some on-set experience. I need to know the operations. Like, it's one thing to do something and not know how it's ran, but it's another thing to do it and do your research and know how it's ran. So I thought the best thing to do was, get some on-set experience. Learn what a PA do. Learn what a director does. Learn what a producer does. Learn who an AD is. So I did that stuff as well. And while I was doing all of this, I was already putting it in the universe that I was a stunt person. So I was saying, people were like, because when you're sitting around and you're on these different sets and you're talking to different background and extra people, everybody asking you what you do, where you come from, all this crap. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I do stunts. They're like, well, you do stunts? I'm like, yeah, I do stunts. So I was putting it out to the universe because I had already told myself I was a stunt performer. And sure enough, a guy who had booked me on a commercial called me months after I did a commercial for him. He was like, hey, Janeisha, I remember you saying you do stunts. I was like, yeah, I do. He's like, okay, great. He said, I have a job for you. And my first stunt job was on a drive time commercial doing a slip and fall.
Oh, wow. Now, what's drive time? Sorry.
Drive time is a car company.
Okay.
Literally called Drive Time, 2 words. That was my first job, and it was a commercial. Favor ain't fair, okay? I have been so blessed. I was able to join the union within 3 months of even starting in the industry. I got tapped Hartley on a Gatorade commercial as a basketball player. Mm-hmm. So, like, you talk about, like, sports and all of that. Sports have been the core of all of my success, in addition to Jesus and all the blessings and just truly being dependent and trusting him. Mm-hmm. Honestly, while I was training and doing all of that and preparing myself for stunt work, I think I went 2 years and didn't even have a job, but I wasn't tripping. I never once struggled because.
So how did you survive in those like years you weren't working for doing stunts?
I had commercials.
Okay.
I had commercials coming in, and that's why I was just like, I've been so blessed. I've literally been so blessed because the goal was to do stunts, right? So that was what I was doing. But at the same time, while I was training, I was getting booked on this commercial. I would get booked on that commercial. And the commercials, I wouldn't even have to do stunts on them.
So you were just building the relationships and then also building your resume, waiting for like the next opportunity. I love that. I feel like that's something that we all...
Well, half the time people are lazy. Like, let me be real. What you will find out is that I'm very blunt.
I love
get straight
that.
To the point. People are lazy. They want stuff to be handed to them. Okay, you got people in this industry now that expect, movie credits to just fly into their lap. I'm like, you ain't paid no dues. I paid dues. I've been in this industry since 2008. I didn't start stunts until 2010. Mm-hmm. So when I started stunts, I went like 2 years before I even got a job. I was constantly training, putting in the work, learning how to do tumbling and Taekwondo and sword fighting and all of this, building up skills. I was an athlete, yes. So I knew how to run over stuff. I knew how to jump over stuff, I knew how to fall. But there's other disciplines and other skills you want to pick up. And you don't just pick them up for a month. No, you continually train at them. That's what I was doing because proper preparation prevents poor production. So I'm not going to sit up there and be claiming I'm doing something and not prepare myself so when the job comes. My mom always said, it's better to be ready and not needed than to be needed and not ready. So That's what I was doing. And all while I was doing that, I was praying and I was trusting and depending on the Lord, knowing that he has some stuff for me.
And I think a lot of us, you know, a lot of us creatives, a lot of us who are in these lifestyle industries, we, like, as you said, it took you 2 years before you booked that first stunt opportunity. What if you had given up, right? What if you had said, oh,
Exactly.
3 months have passed. This is not for me. Let me go back to do something else. Let me try something else. I think that perseverance also shows you how much do you really want it. I say that to people all the time. If you really want it, you're going to be in it for the long run. And that's how you know that dream is really your dream, right? Or if it's just a passion.
Absolutely. My thing is this. If you quit so easily, then it's like, what is the point? What's the point? You saying you want to do something and then you quit because, it got a little tough or it got a little hard, then you weak. And I'll tell you right now, my mental game compares to none. Okay.
But do you think that's from your sports background? Because I feel like I'll play devil's advocate here. A lot of people have trouble building that mental toughness. Like, what's some strategies or some tips you could give to somebody who really just right now their mental toughness is low?
That's a very good question, and I think it helps with like your household. But again, I'll say sports. And so for those, let's say for those who are growing up in like a crazy, non-supportive household, right? You have to find deep down within yourself to know, no matter what somebody tells me, no matter what negative stuff is going in my ear, I cannot accept that. That is not the final answer. You know what I mean? You have to be able to say, I don't care that my mom said I can't do this. I don't care that my brother said I can't do this or that my friend said I can't do it. I know I can do it. So you have to dig deep within yourself and believe in yourself. You can't expect other people to believe in you. I know it sounds like, well, really? No, it's that simple. You got to believe in yourself first.
That is so true. That belief in yourself is just going to carry you through, because along this dream driving journey, you won't always have people on the sidelines cheering you on. So you really have to have that fuel from inside. But thinking about your own journey in the stunts industry, what's like one challenge that you encountered as you were booking jobs that you had to navigate through?
You, as a person, have to be able to weed out any type of negative energy, thoughts, haters. You have to be able to weed that out so that you can keep your mental game strong. You can't allow anyone to deter you from your dreams, aspirations, and goals, period. I don't care who they are. Your mama, your daddy, sister, brother, best friend. And you have to know that. You have to know that you cannot give anybody the power to control your destiny. And that don't have nothing to do with sports. You know what I mean? You have to be able to know that, hey, you control how far you go. You control where you go. You control if you make it to the top or not. You got to believe in yourself. And I think a lot of people are scared. They don't believe in themselves. And then they don't speak stuff into existence. I speak stuff into existence. I speak it into existence. I claim it. I believe it. That's key. You got to believe it too. You can't just be talking some stuff and then not believe it. You know what I mean? You really got to believe that wholeheartedly. And then you got to walk as if it already happened. So if there's anybody out there who's like struggling with their, mental game and their confidence, it's like, no, start speaking some positive stuff into your life. Start speaking some positive aspirations. I can do this. Or start saying, I did it. I won, I finished. I'm winning, still winning, whatever it takes. But don't let no negative stuff get in there. Heck no. Remove yourself from any type of negative energy, negative people. I don't care. That's what you got to do. I think so many people maintain these weird relationships knowing that people don't support them and ain't got their back. Like, what are you doing? You're doing yourself a disservice. I wish I would hang out with some people who don't like me or who don't got my back. What I look like.
Right.
You know what I mean? It boggles me. It really boggles me when I see people hanging around with folks who they know and don't support them, ain't speaking life into their life, not speaking positivity, not speaking growth. Nah. Here, No, we don't do that here.
I love your accent.
I have an accent.
To me, you do, right? Because I'm from the East Coast, so it's like, oh my gosh,
okay.
You have like that Cali. You sound like Ryan. Like, you know how like Ryan has that, like, I don't even know what that's called. Like whatever Ryan Coogler's accent is, I hear a little bit of it in the way you speak. And
oh, really?
Yeah.
It's called passion. That's what it's called. This accent is called passion.
So let's talk about Black Panther. How did you get that opportunity?
Wow. Let me say, prayer works. Prayer works. I prayed for the opportunity to be a part of Black Panther starting in April of 2016, okay? April 2016. Prayed every day. I had people at my church praying for me. They didn't even know if they was praying for it. They just know I needed prayer. I started off my prayers every day with, thank you, Lord, in advance for Black Panther. Thank you, Jesus, for Black Panther. Thank you, God, for Black Panther. Every day. I already claimed it. That's key right there. And I believed it too. So let's say that was April, right? 2016. I get a casting audition notice from Sarah Finn Casting. It was September, October-ish, saying, hey, you had an audition for an Untitled Marvel project. Well, shoot, I knew what that was.
Wait, did you know that Black Panther was in production before April 2016?
I had no idea. My stunt mentor contacted me and was like, hey, and she had worked on Captain America Civil War.
Okay.
And she goes, hey, she says, they're going to be making a Black Panther movie. I was like, what? Really? I haven't heard anything about it. She was like, no, trust me, they are. They're going to make, he's getting his own movie. And she said, they're going to need stunt people who look like you. They're going to need some dark-skinned women, skilled women who can fight, who could move. Yeah. She's like, they're going to need some people like you. So get ready. I said, okay. And she was like, freshen back up on your Taekwondo. So I immediately after that, I picked back up my Taekwondo. And this was all in April. And I was praying every day. I had no idea. I hadn't heard anything about it. I had heard nothing about Black Panther being shot. I didn't know nothing about the movie. There was nothing out at that time talking about Black Panther. But she knew because she worked on Captain America Civil War.
And you had that relationship too, and that's important as well.
Yeah, I had that G14 classified info. So I started picking up my Taekwondo. I picked that back up, and I started praying every day. Every day, like I said, started off that prayer, how I said, thank you, Lord, in advance for Black Panther. Thank you, Jesus, for Black Panther. And then I got the notice from Sarah Finn Casting around September, October-ish. Hey, come in, you have an audition for Untitled Marvel Project. Boom. I knew exactly what that was. Because wasn't no Untitled Marvel Project shooting, needing some Black people with an accent, right? But Black Panther. So I saw that the character had to speak with an accent. And I majored in linguistics at Berkeley. So I kind of wrote out some stuff with my IPA. But I contacted my friend Igosa, who went to Cal with me. And she put me in touch with her mom, who is Nigerian. And her mom helped me tremendously. We went over my line for 2 days straight, line by line. She helped me with my accent and everything. Went into the audition, did the line, and then I had to just demonstrate some kicks. So, that's when the Taekwondo came in. Shortly after that, I want to say maybe 2-3 weeks, I was contacted through the stunts department. Hey, come in and audition. And at that time, they said Black Panther, I believe. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I went in for an audition through the stunts department. That consisted of them teaching us a piece of choreography. And then you got to showcase some of your skills at the end of that audition. I'm like, okay, great. So then that happened. And then some weeks later, I was told, hey, we want to use you. Are you available the end of November through the end of May? I'm like, yeah, I'm available, So it was like, yes, great, boom. Then I get another email, right? I'm telling you, this was a process, okay?
Wow.
But Jesus was right up in it, okay? He always working on my behalf, always. And so from them saying, hey, we want to use you, I got another email saying, hey, we want to fly you out to Atlanta for a day. They want to do a test. And then it was myself and 13 other girls. And Ryan was there, Nate Moore, some other Marvel bigwigs. And this audition or test, if you want to call it, consisted of us learning another piece of choreography and showcasing our skills that we wanted to just, demonstrate. So I did, again, some more Taekwondo stuff. After that, because that was a quick day. I mean, that was like an 8-hour day. You flew in, you flew out. It was just that, boom. Shortly after that, probably 3 weeks later, I got an email that included an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, and a follow-up email saying, hey, if you're receiving this email, you have been chosen as part of the elite all-female fighting team. And I was like, whoo, Jesus is the homie. Don't play. Don't tell me what God can't do. So I just felt like all of my hard work had paid off. All of that, starting back in 2010, had paid off. That persistentness, that discipline, that work ethic, that mental game, that mental toughness of I ain't never giving up. No, it's not an option. Quitting is not an option. All of that paid off. My faith and trust in the Lord. Oh, yeah.
If you think about it, all that really channels who the characters are, right? Like, when I think of, I'm just here smiling because when I watched the movie and saw you guys fighting, it's like, that's what you see. That toughness, that fierceness.
Okay, got you. Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
That's my testimony. I don't know if that's their testimony.
No, I mean, meaning as in, like, when you were fighting all together, in terms of the movie, like that energy of that togetherness and that fierceness, that's what, and that determination, that's kind of what I saw, I should say. So this is the question that I'm telling you, 5 people asked me that they wanted me to ask. I wasn't going to ask you this but what was it like for you during filming to be part of such Black excellence? What were your feelings like as you were making the movie and just being part of history that it now is, It
was a dream come true. It was a total dream come true. The reason I say this because I was on a set with not only the majority of Black cast, but I was on set with veteran, respected actors such as Angela Bassett and Forrest Whitaker. I love their work. I love what they've done for cinema. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the fact that I was actually sharing a movie, sharing a scene, being in a scene with them was just wow, it was just overwhelming because, that's Tina Turner. You know what I mean? That's Angela Bassett. That's Forrest Whitaker. I watched them growing up. I've seen the blockbusters that they've been a part of, and they're household names, not just for the Black community, but for all communities. Everybody know Angela Bassett. Everybody know Forrest Whitaker. Mm-hmm. So it was such a huge dream come true. Just being in the presence with those veteran stars. I never in a million years would have thought I would have met Angela Bassett. Seriously, ever. Never would have thought I would have met her. Never even thought I would ever work with Forrest Whitaker. And then now fast forward to, okay, wow, now I'm actually on a movie, all Black cast, and Ryan Coogler is directing me. What? The same dude who did Creed and Fruitvale Station? I was in the Bay Area when the incident of Fruitvale Station happened. So I was just like, wow, this is crazy. It was amazing. Yes, it's all coming together. And it was great watching Ryan work. I mean, the dude is a genius. I would watch him and I could see he had a plan, right? I could see he had a vision and I could see his brain thinking he had a vision for this movie. It was his vision to have the Dora Milaje with shaved head. He was very specific. He was not going to have us wearing no ball caps or no wigs. He just wasn't going to do it. He just said he wanted it to look authentic.
Did you have to shave your hair for it?
Yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah, mm-hmm. We didn't wear no wigs. Our heads are shaved.
Wow.
We got our heads shaved every day. Did you think those were wigs or
You know, I wasn't sure. Like, you know how like makeup nowadays is real good. Like, I'm like, maybe some of them were, because I saw in your picture.
It ain't that good.
Wow.
I lost 18 inches of hair for that.
Wow.
Yeah. But he had a vision. So I was very blessed and humbled by the whole entire experience to be on Panther. And it was a dream come true for sure. And here again, I felt like I was being rewarded for my total dependence and faith and trust in the Lord. And I feel like that's why he blessed me with the opportunity to be a part of history.
So how did it work also being a stunt double for Danai? Like, what was that like something extra that you had to train for?
So the training that we did with our both staffs, that was training for our characters, right? It didn't matter if it was double or not. And I wasn't told that I was going to be the Okoye double when I first got there. That was not what I was told. I got there knowing that I was a part of the all-female fighting team, right? The Dora Milaje.
Mm-hmm.
When I was told that I was going to be the Okoye double, that was icing on the cake. Hashtag and still hashtag winning. That was another blessing. The Lord always works on my behalf, because I didn't know that was going to happen. So that was great. You know, I got to do some awesome stuff in the casino scene and some fighting, and it was just great. That casino scene is one of my favorite. Actually, I've been reading people's comments and stuff. It tends to be like the favorite scene for a lot of people.
Yeah, I watched
casino scene go hard.
Yeah,
like,
I watched Ryan's like breakdown of the scene from one of them, and how he shows how there was like red, black, and green were like the only colors, and it was so crazy to see him work through just the symbolism in that scene. Because when I first watched it, I wasn't watching it for that, but when you go deeper, you see all the symbolism, and that was all throughout the movie, like all the little subtle details.
Oh, for sure, because red, black, and green are colors of the Pan-African flag. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you know, so Danai, she's always in like red, and Lupita's in green, and Chadwick's in black. And like I said, my director, Ryan Coogler, is a genius. He's a genius.
I have a question coming from one of our listeners, Janae, and she's actually from, you know what, I'm not going to say she's from the Bay Area because I just lump everybody from California in the same thing. She's from Cali. I'll just say she's from Cali. Sorry, Janae, I should know. Her question is, you know, what does it feel like to represent so much to other women and girls who might look like you, knowing that this films often lack people looking like them? Like, what does it feel to know that there are little girls who are like, wow, I want to be a Dora Milaje when I grow up?
Oh, I love it. It just warms my heart. It really, really warms my heart, because representation does matter. And you never know what's going on in a person's mind or head. You don't know how, you don't really know how a person feels about themselves unless they really tell you, for the most part, you know? So it's so great when you hear these little girls say, I want to be a Dora, or I want to be like Princess Shuri. It's great, because so many, let's just say all these times our youth, our girls, and our little boys have been dressing up in costumes where people don't look like them. They're dressing up as Iron Man, Pocahontas, Little Mermaid, Cinderella, Snow White. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on and on. Right? Now they can dress up as Black Panther, and the little boys can actually be like, oh my God, I look like him. We have the same hair. You know what I mean? It gets that deep. Like my friend Stutch, I went out and did a screening with her organization in Denver, and her little son said, hey, we have the same hair, talking about Black Panther. I mean, that is deep. So I love that these little girls now have people who look like them who they can dress up as. You know, you don't have to dress up as Snow White or Little Mermaid anymore if you don't want to, because you now have another option. You have an option to be Queen Mother. You have an option to be Shuri. You have an option to be a Dora Milaje. You have an option to be Nakia, a spy. You know what I mean? So it's deep. It's deep. And even for our blurs, our Black nerds, when they're doing their cosplay, before this, they was They was in the same position. They were cosplaying other characters who don't look like them. Now they can cosplay a Dora Milaje, a Shuri, a Queen Mother, a Black Panther, a shaman, you know? So it's great. I'm happy that these little girls to see people who look like them, different shapes and sizes, dark skin, melanin is popping, you know? For so many years, it was always only Halle Berry. Halle Berry this, Halle Berry that. Now we got way more than Halle Berry, okay?
And showing that it still works. People will still come out and watch it.
Representation matters. Representation matters. It helps when you see somebody who looks like you because you can say, hey, I could be like them. I could do that. But if you don't see it, you don't even think it's possible.
That is so true. So I have a fun question here. This one is coming from Damali. And her question is, what's Mbaka's number? So just
Girl,
you can give it to me
get that out.
Okay, well, if you just happen to come across it, just text it to me, okay?
Right. But I don't even think they got phones out there in that isolated tribe of his in the mountains. So
well, what's his call? What's his special call that you just shout when he comes? We have a question coming from Kamani, and his question is, what lessons can we take from the film, especially for creating a society that is more like Wakanda?
Ooh, what lesson? Teamwork make the dream work. That's one.
Yep.
Because if you notice how, you know, when the Doors were trying to fight the border tribe, and then all of a sudden you seen M'Baku and the Jabari warriors come in, they came in and helped. They helped because teamwork makes the dream work. They were both trying to preserve Wakanda. They both have a love for Wakanda. And the only way to defeat the enemy was if they came together. It wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? I think that was powerful because they were a little bit outnumbered. But by them coming in, they showed that they were strong and strength, and they were willing to fight. They were willing to fight for their country that they love. Because when it was presented to them, it was like, well, look, if you don't fight to help preserve this nation, then it's going to be taken over by people who don't feel the same about it as you do. Because if they didn't fight and win, then it could have been that Killmonger would have won. And then, like Shuri was worried about, he would have taken all of the secrets and he would have used it for no good.
But what do you think about, because I've been reading, like I get obsessed with reading like all different types of like reviews and responses once movies like this come out, right? And one of the things that I just got disturbed by were people were just really bashing the whole, oh, you know, why is it black on black violence? Why did Killmonger have to die and that kind of stuff, right? Like, I feel like some people were just, going too far and not even seeing the movie for what it really represented. So how did you navigate when people had negative responses to the work?
I don't. I told you earlier. I ain't got time for no negative energy, and I ain't got time for no ignorance. That to me is ignorant.
Like,
I can't spend an ounce of my energy or time responding to some ignorant mess. You know what I mean? No, I can't. That don't make no sense. None whatsoever. People need to start disengaging from these idiots, because only idiots argue with themselves. You know, when people start leaving these stupid, dumb comments and then somebody chimes back in, it's like more fuel. Why do it? You ain't got to respond to that. I ain't got time for it. People say a lot of ignorant stuff when they're hiding behind a computer screen anyway. So why I'm going to waste my time arguing with somebody over there? Nah.
So for somebody who's trying to get into stunts, right, who wants to penetrate this industry and really build a lasting career, like what's some tips you would have for that aspiring stunt woman or stunt man, especially person of color?
Okay, well, my first question would be to them is, why do you want to get into it? Nowadays, I always question people's motivations. Why are you doing something? Are you doing something because you think it's an easy check? Or are you doing something because you really, really want to do it and that's your passion? So let's say it's their passion or whatever. Get yourself some set experience. You know, a lot of people won't admit it, but a lot of people came from extra and background work. You know, because first of all, you got to get into the union. You got to figure out how you're going to get into the union. And the quickest way that I know how is when people do extra work. You know, you get your vouchers, or you register with a background service, and you do some commercials and possibly can get Taft-Hartley. I know it works because you're talking to somebody who did it that way. You know, get some on-set experience, register with an extra service or a background service so you can see what set life is like if you really want to do it. And then also pick up a discipline, pick up some martial arts or MMA. Don't sit up here and say you want to do stunts because you heard me do it and you seen Black Panther made $500-some million and you think I'm rolling in dough. That's not good motivation to be like, you want to do stunts. And I'm being completely real because people thinking, oh my God, this movie making this money. They killing the game and the money. I want to do stunts. I'm like, no, boo-boo. This is my passion. I've been doing this since 2010. Like, get it together and don't insult my job like that. Find the discipline, whether it be karate, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, Taekwondo, some, MMA. Learn how to pick up gymnastics. You know, you gotta find something because this is our body, right? My body is my instrument, so I gotta take care of it. So I train so that when I am called for the job, I know how to fall properly. I know how to protect myself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you need to pick up some athletic classes, some martial arts, some discipline. And then don't just do it for a month. Like, if this is supposed to be a job, right? So you need to do your research on the job. Same way, if you want to be a dentist, you're going to have to do your research. You're going to have to go to school. They're not going to just let you start doing extractions on day 2. So, you got to train. I hope. Right? So you got to be consistent. You got to train. Work hard. Don't expect stuff to be handed to you. Don't think you've been trained for a month and now you expect to get, a big movie credit. You're going to have to put some work in because people need to know, can they trust you on set? Are you professional on set? Do you help on set?
What's next for you, Janeisha? So I know you are cast in the Avengers movie that's coming out later this year, right?
Yeah, Avengers, May the 5th, I believe. Yep. And that's going to be awesome. You thought Black Panther was great, and it was. Avengers is going to be awesome as well. The action just increases over there. So that was a huge blessing. And then I did Godzilla. That doesn't come out until 2019. I currently work on Fox's new hit drama 911. I love that show. Check it out Wednesdays. I have several commercials that are about to start running, actually.
You were in the Lexus commercial, right?
Yes, I was. I was in the Black Panther Lexus Super Bowl commercial. That is still running as well. I was like, well done, my king. Yeah. So, I'm literally living in my overflow right now. But yeah, so I have commercials. I'm working on 911. There's another show that I'm getting ready to probably start working on as well. And I have my business. It is called Hyphy for Christ, HYPHY, the number 4 and Christ. And that is, so the word hyphy means to be overly excited. And I adopted that.
Wasn't that like a dance movement, like the hyphy dance movement or something?
Yeah, exactly. See,
Crumpet and all that stuff.
Now you're right? So hyphy was a term that was adopted from the Bay. And I called it Hyphy for Christ because I'm overly excited for the Lord. Through my message, I inspire, encourage, and motivate, all while allowing the Lord's light to shine through me and just helping people to just know, like, don't give up. Like, this is a faith-based organization designed to inspire, encourage, and motivate. And we put on faith-based concerts and events. And so be on the lookout because we got a lot of stuff about to pop off this year.
Well, that's exciting. Yeah. I'll definitely link to everything in the show notes. But let's transition to our lightning round, Janeisha. So at this part of the interview, I'm going to give you a prompt, and I want you to tell me the first word that comes to mind. And we're sticking with our whole dreams and drive metaphor. Okay?
Yes.
The first word is park.
That means you need to just slow down, just stop, reverse. Stop for a minute, just chill. Oh, reverse.
Mm-hmm.
you need to reassess some stuff. Kind of gotta like go back for a minute.
Neutral.
Yeah, you good. Like, don't do nothing. Just stay where you at. Don't change a thing.
Drive.
You need to go. Like, accelerate. Seriously, like, pick it up.
And if you want to be a dream driver, you have to have your keys to success. So tell me 3 things that you think every dream driver needs in their toolkit before they hit the road.
3 keys to success is faith, claim it, right? And then walk as if it already happened.
Yep.
So
that you have been a living testimony to that, right? All the your career has gone so far, and what you've told us today is definitely a testimony to that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would definitely say you need faith. You got to have faith, right? And then when you have faith, you claim it, right? And then you walk as if it already happened.
So where can our dream drivers find you online if they want to connect and learn more about what you're doing?
Dream drivers can find me at Hollywood Lady J. That's Hollywood, Lady, and the letter J. And that's on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay, thank you so much, Janeisha. This has been so much fun. Big up to my fellow Jamaican sister, right?
Yes, Jamaica representing for Jamaica. Woo, woo, yes, claiming it all day.
I just want to say thank you so much. Like, I was so excited when Megan reached out, and I just think that I just want to say thank you for being part of history. Thank you for, just being great on screen, and I'm just wishing you the best of luck for what this year, and I know next year will bring, and just the future for you as well.
Thank you so much. I received that, and to you too as well with your radio show and all of that. Because I'm gonna say it again. Don't allow no negative energy, no negative anything to get in the middle of your dreams, aspirations, and goals. What you have going is a good thing right now, and the sky is not the limit because the sky is way too low. So just keep doing what you're doing. If you got people in your circle that's not for you, if they're not speaking life, they're not speaking energy, if they ain't got your back, drop them. Seriously.
One question I have, how did you keep the secret of like what happened in the movie? You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's always my thing. Like, I never worked with people, right? Like, I feel like that would be like the biggest thing of like, I mean, I know you have an NDA, so you can't technically, but was it hard for you like not to talk about stuff after it was filmed?
Okay. So let me tell you this. When I seen the movie for the first time, that was the first time that I seen the movie. And what I mean is the stuff that happened in that movie with Killmonger and Claw, I had no idea, girl. None.
Really?
And I was shooting the movie. Yes, really. I did not know that Killmonger was going to get hurt. I didn't know that Claw was going to get hurt. I didn't know any of that. I did not know any of it. And I shot the movie. I was there for it. I didn't know that's how that was going to get pieced together. I had no idea. I didn't know that. Yes, I didn't. I didn't know. Yeah, I mean, they kept it from a lot of people. Clearly, I knew they were cousins, right? Because we're in the scene where he says, "Hey, auntie." But as far as like the tragic, death or whatever that he experienced, I didn't know that was going to happen. Didn't know that was going to happen at all. I didn't know Claw was going to get shot by him. I didn't know about the secret between the boy being left. I didn't know how he was his cousin, right? I knew he was a cousin. I didn't know how. Yeah, so there was things in that movie that I was just as shocked as the rest of the world watching for the first time.
We can talk about that. That could be a whole nother conversation. But wait, one last question. Is Michael B. Jordan that fine in real life? Is he that fine in real life?
Michael B. Jordan is gorgeous. He is so gorgeous. He's so sweet. Like, he's definitely the guy you bring home to mom. Like, we had some elders on set, and I watched him one time, like, walk with one of the elders back to her chair, and he was very, very nice, very respectful. Like, I'll support him in anything he does. Seriously. Yeah. He's got sense of humor. And he was the first person, he had Killmonger hoodies made. Matter of fact, I'm wearing my Killmonger hoodie right now. This person to give us swag. Kid you not. It's a sweetheart. Super cool. Really, really, really nice. That's the guy you take home to mama.
And he's from Jersey. He's from North New Jersey, and I'm from Orange. We're like 5 miles away, so that's that Jersey love.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so that was a wrap for episode 139 with Janeisha. I hope you enjoyed hearing her dream driving journey as well as her keys to success. And if you love this episode, if you loved it, if you felt inspired, if you felt motivated, if you felt encouraged, please, please, please share it with a friend. Whether you screenshot this and send it via text to someone, whether you post it to Instagram stories, or if you post it on your Facebook or Twitter, just do something with it. Let's pay it forward, right? Pay it forward to someone that you think needs to hear Janeisha's message today. Don't forget to enter our Dreams and Drive giveaway of the week. This week, I am giving away a Dreams and Drive crew neck sweatshirt. So if you want to rock some Dreams and Drive gear, go to dreamsanddrive.com/win. That's dreamsanddrive.com/win to enter. And if you win, you get to choose the color sweatshirt that you want. And I also want to remind you guys that you can also shop Dreams and Drive gear anytime you want. Just go to dreamsanddrive.com/shop. That's dreamsanddrive.com/shop to shop t-shirts, crew neck sweatshirts, or hoodies. I want to say thank you again. If you haven't listened to episode 138, where I talk about this incredible week that I have, I do encourage you to go back and listen to that one. I get pretty emotional about just how this journey is revealing itself to me and all the things that I'm learning and just all the hard work I've put in over the past 2 years and some change and how everything's paying off. So please, please, please go back to episode 138 if you have not listened to it already. It was just so great to meet Chadwick and Jimmy Fallon, like super, super cool. So a few episodes ago, I asked you guys to make sure you're leaving reviews on Apple Podcasts, and you responded. You left some new reviews. So I want to shout out our dream drivers who had some encouraging things to say. This one is coming from H. Richardson. This podcast is so timely and has so many gems. Must listen for anyone who wants to turbo boost their career or business. Really appreciate the quality content. More, please. Thank you. This one is coming from Jay Barshop. Awesome show, highly recommend. Raina and her guests provide some incredibly actionable and compelling content on how to become a better, more well-rounded entrepreneur, and more importantly, a better overall person. I highly recommend listening and subscribing to Dreams and Drive if you want the knowledge and mindsets to level up in all areas of life and reach your overall business goals as a result. Thank you so much. And this one is coming from Diva787, Insightful Excellence. I was put on by the Therapy for Black Girls podcast and absolutely loved how timely and insightful, hard and important questions, learning with stories of successful people and self-care matters. Subscribe. And you know what, guys? Dr. Joy from Therapy for Black Girls will be an upcoming guest, probably in April sometime. And if you want your review to be read on an upcoming episode, all you got to do is go to Apple Podcasts, subscribe, leave a rating and review, and I'll probably read it on the next episode. So make sure you do that. If you are not part of our Dreams and Drive Facebook group, I want to remind you that there's always an open invitation to anybody who wants to join it. All you have to do is go to dreamsanddrive.com/Facebook, or you can just go and search Dream Driver Mastermind the next time you're on Facebook, which will probably be sometime today, right? So make sure you come on over and join our chats. You can always ask me questions there and meet other dream drivers who are also on this road to success, this dream driving journey. So there is one thing that I want to start doing on episodes, and I'm trying to figure out where the perfect place for it will be, or maybe it'll just be a solo episode. I'm not sure yet, but I want to do some marketing tips because I am trying to share more parts of my expertise, and I work in marketing. That's my day job. So it's marketing, something that I love. And a tip that I want to share with you guys is utilizing Twitter searches. A lot of people don't know that social media can be searched, right? When I got this whole Black Panther feature, the first thing that I was doing was I went to Twitter and I searched, the name of the title of the video, and I was just seeing who was talking about it. But I did something that was even probably more cool to me, but maybe creepy to that person. I searched Girl in Black Sweatshirt, Chadwick Boseman, Jimmy Fallon video. And I wanted to see if anybody was talking about me specifically. And I found somebody who commented about my comment, and I replied to that person, and now we're Twitter friends. Like, use Twitter searches to either find people who are talking about challenges in their business that you can directly help. If you want to find people who are talking about your content, please, 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 I encourage everyone this week to go into Twitter, get fun with the searches, and start conversations with people, because that's what social is all about. It's about being social. It's about finding conversations, creating conversations, engaging, and that is a key way to building your audience and building your brand. So if you guys like that marketing tip, let me know. I want to start doing more of these because I think we all can get better at marketing ourselves and sales and all that stuff, because hey, if you're building a brand, you need people to know about it, right? All right, and I know you guys are probably super tired of me talking about this, but I'm still smiling. If you saw that video, you saw how big my smile was. That's how I'm smiling right now. Even better things are coming, guys. Keep dreaming, keep driving, and we'll chat again in episode 140.